We're here at Memorial High School and I'm going to teach you about the shrinker. Okay, so come on in. This one's a high quality version. It's called the Lancaster, made in the USA. It's been modified just a little bit, actually by Mr. Fay Butler himself. He took the screws off and modified basically modified the spring to be tougher. He put some grease on here, but overall it's the same. Okay, now come on in close and let me show you what this looks like. Can you see in here? Is it possible to get the camera? Why is the camera crooked like that? Yeah. We got like a serious cameraman here. All right, now watch the teeth come down. The teeth come down and they're hungry. They're like chomp chomp, and then they bite and they bring together. So it's grab and then bring together, just like the arrow says. Make sure it's focused. Right? They come down and they go like that. Okay. Now, why do you need something like that? So come on, look in here for a second. Here, look over here for a second. Yeah. Okay. So if you're doing a bead roll, right? We're going to use the shrinker to take up the material right here. I don't know if this is the best way. This is just the way that I figured out working with my students here. Because there's an extra area. Let me show you the extra area. Can you see that? There's extra material, right? So I want to shrink that so that I can get this panel to lay flat again, right? And if that's not the proper way to do it, some metal workers out there watching the video, please let me know. I'm all ears. But this is how we do it here, okay? Now what you do is we just temporarily, we just put some bolts in there. We put it in the vise, close the vise. And then bring it in right here. Let's see. Come on over to this side. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to bite that part right there. And you saw what we did with the ruler before. So I'm doing several bites. And then I'm going to do a half bite, which might not be a good idea because it kind of gives it more shape. But anyway, now let me just hammer this out just a little bit. Okay, now take a look at this, the difference. It's almost flat now, whereas before it was not. Okay, big difference, right? So now you might want, now over here, because of that, you got a similar situation on the other side, but I'm going to leave that to one of my students to do. Now while I have you on the camera, let me just show you one more thing that the shrinker does, because this is a video about shrinker, but also about fixing the bead roll. So give me a second here. Hold on. 1 second. Keep it rolling.
Please stand by.
Keep it rolling. Okay, come on over here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a small piece of 030 mild sheet. Just real quick. Okay, this part needs to be held down. Where's those clamps? No, you guys don't have them here? Ah, that's okay. I'm going to change this to the 1/3 side. And yeah, bring them over. So we're going to use some clamps. See, this hold down is not enough. Even if the sheet is flat, sometimes they come up. So we're going to put, we got the hold down there. We're going to put at least one clamp on here. Okay. Alright, ready? There you go. And that gives you a nice cut without worrying about, you know, it can end up curling over, and so that's a nice clean cut there. That's all we need to do. That can go back in the scrap. But what I want to do is I want to fold it. And the reason why is because I can make this turn. I can make it. Anyway, let's go over here. Okay. So, if you see here, it's flat. Okay? It's flat in both sides right now. But if I put it in the shrinker, okay, I can actually shrink one of the turns, one side of the fold, like the side, and when I shrink it, because I'm shrinking the material, look how it curves. You guys see the curve? Look at the curve. How fast that happens. So, you know, what I've seen is people do like parts of doors and, you know, pieces. You know, you can do a lot of parts for cars like this. Anyway, that's what the Lancaster shrinker does. I'm Mr. G. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, there's actually the opposite of this would be stretching. We have that machine right here. And if you look, same thing, it grabs it and then pulls it apart. Grabs it and pulls it apart. Grabs it and pulls it apart. Okay, all right, I'm Mr. G. Memorial High School. That's how to use the shrinker and stretcher. See you later.